Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back
500 times?
Who is Jose Arteaga?
500 times?
Can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Things suck.
Who is Jose Arteaga?
On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects, project, 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 projects, expertise,
I am officially running for President of the United States. We need a leader. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. It can be wonderful if you have smart people, but we have people that are stupid. The American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before. The American dream. And we will make America great again. And we will make America great again. And we will make America great again. We will make America great again. And we will make America great again. We will make America great again. And nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. Bigger and better and stronger than ever before, and we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we will make America
Israel.
great
Man, great again.
We will
Make Israel
America great again. And we will make America great again. And we will make America
That's right, guys. Hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. You guys know how we do here. We go hard in the paint. That's right, just like Bill Clinton with the saxophone. Can't get any harder than that. Israel.
Great again. America. Great again. America. Great again. America. Great again.
All right. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. I know you guys want to start talking, about this stuff. We'll play it in the background. Just have that just playing. I gotta download this video, and I gotta have this as a background image, because this is it's amazing. I love the song is great. The image is great. The whole thing. Sex in my phone. That's right. So anyway, shout out to Pedro, Naru, Jaloof, Cecil, Memo, It's a Dark Wolf, and everyone else out there watching, whether you're watching now or you're watching in the future. By the way, before anyone else gets any ideas out there, I am not a Trump supporter or Biden supporter. I'm a nothing supporter. All right, I'm a supporter of freedom. I play this because it's hilarious. And last week, I play this all the time, this song, and I play the thing. I play, constantly, because I just think it's a great song. It's copyright free. I can use it. It works very well with everything I'm, doing here. Last week, I remember I had somebody sent in a donation. They sent in a super chat, and then they started, harping. I don't know if you're watching now or not. I forgot what it was. And it started harping on, oh, don't ever play that song again. I hate that guy so much, and this and that. And to me, it's like, look, you sent a donation, so I won't play it for the time being, but I'm going to play this all the time. And it goes back to what I was saying, what I say all the time, about, and what we're going to be talking about today, is the fact that, there's so many people out there that are so ideologically, I won't say idiots, idiotically captured. But no, sorry, my English is not so good sometimes. But the ideology, just the whole symbolism, just the whole idea has captured you. And basically politics in the USA, just like in many parts of the world these days, but we're just talking about America right now. Basically, the whole idea of America, the whole idea of USA, the whole idea of MAGA, the whole idea of whatever, that's turned into a religion. The far left with their religious ways of looking at things. Either you're with us or you're against us. And now with Trump, the complete opposite. So, I've been talking about this even before Trump got elected. I knew that, I think most of us kind of knew that he was going to get elected, selected, whatever you want to say. But it wasn't just that. It was the fact that, I was expecting, the pendulum to swing all the way to the right. I wasn't expecting it to go so far to the right that it just, went off the handle, because, well, we did the opposite, very recently with the left. So you guys know, before Trump got elected, okay, when Obama was around, we were already heading left, very left. And then all of a sudden, 2016 came along, and people had a choice. All right, who we're going to pick? You're going to pick Hillary Clinton, which is super neocon, super establishment, super status quo, same crap, same shit you guys have been getting fed for decades upon decade upon decade. Or Trump. Trump was, he was former left. Remember, he was always a Democrat until 2016 when he turned into a Republican. But he was always about running into politics. He was always running in politics and always and running and trying to, become president. But he never left. He would never get as far as what do you call these things? Man, when they have when they're all all the Republicans are fighting against each other, all the Democrats are fighting against each other. To see who's going to be the nominee. He would never get past that. until 2016. Not only did he get past that, but he became, the GOP, the Republican nominee. And so a lot of people voted for him right off the bat because, well, back then he was saying things like, end the Fed. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to go after, whatever, Hillary Clinton. We're going to do all these things. But what happened? You guys know what happened. Basically he got elected, and within a few months, about a year, he was status quo. Sure, he didn't go that far into the swamp, meaning he did not become a swamp monster like that. But he was basically, kind of protecting the swamp, kind of like doing not what he was going to say he was going to do. He had 2 years. Remember, he had a majority when he first got elected as well. He had 2 years to build the wall, to do this, to do all these things that he was going to do, and he didn't do anything. And then after those 2 years were up and he lost the majority, he's like, oh, you see these dumb Democrats, they don't let me do anything. That's why I couldn't do this, and I couldn't do that, and I couldn't whatever. And whatever. Anyway, so long story short, everyone has started getting Trump derangement syndrome or whatever. And he got elected. People got Trump derangement syndrome or whatever it is, and people started losing their minds and started going kind of crazy and all that stuff. And then eventually, by the time that the next elections came around, 2020, basically, people started voting or went to Biden. It wasn't that people were supporting Biden or supporting the left or anything like that. In fact, you guys know, you guys were there. A lot of it was that people were losing their minds so much, so bad that most people were like, man, this is kind of crazy. This isn't really sustainable per se. We need to figure out a solution here. We got to get Trump out of the office because, otherwise people are going to go even more crazy. And then Biden came along, literally the worst possible candidate. And this is according to the Democrats, came along. And then, obviously they had the elections. Don't get me started on that. The rigged elections. They selected, just like they selected Trump, they selected Biden. Okay. And then we had him 4 years. And, why was the purpose? What was the purpose of having Biden in there for 4 years? Well, simply, to just get the people to be so fed up and so upset with the way everything is going that they would elect Trump in a landslide. And not just elect Trump in a landslide, but on top of that, allow him to do all the things that he's doing now. I mean, again, the Epstein files just got released, and how many MAGA faithful are like, you know what I mean? Like in the sense of like, you see, there's nothing to see here, guys. Epstein was not a bad guy. Epstein was good. He did good things, and we just got to move on to something else. There's we got World War III. We get Iran. We get the Palestinians. We get, and it's like, but wait a minute, weren't you guys harping on the Epstein files since like 8 years, 10 years, or whatever? And then Trump, as he was running for president in 2024, he was basically saying, hey, we're going to release those files. We're going to go after them. In fact, like 2 days ago, weren't they like, oh, the files are on my desk. Oh, we're going to go after them. And then all of a sudden, boop, disappeared, gone, like nothing happened. Just like that person there's about to disappear. Anyways, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Exactly. They didn't release shit. They didn't do shit. It was basically same as it ever was. And ever since Trump got elected this time, there's no agenda per se to push anymore. They've already got what they want, and so now he's just doing it. He is part of the system. He is one of them. It's a big club, and you are not in it. We are not in it. Okay, and it could not be any more evident with everything that Trump has done since he got into power. All right, I'm not even talking about the things that he promised he was going to do. Remember, he promised he was going to go after the immigrants. He promised he was going to, bring pain. He promised you, okay, that, a lot of the things that he's doing right now, okay. He promised that he was going to take away your rights, right? Because, now we're going to, break into homes and start arresting people just because, we got to get rid of the bad hombres. Basically, he's done a lot of the things that he said he was going to do. In fact, maybe gone worse. But then a lot of the other things that he said he was going to do that a lot of people wanted him to do, he's not doing at all. He's going the opposite. So he said he's going to stop the wars. No more war. We're going to bring everybody back, whatever. What does he do? He's sending more money to Ukraine. He's, supporting Israel. He bombed Iran. Come on, all that's going on there, plus all the bombs, everywhere else, whether Yemen or the Middle East, other parts of the Middle East, Syria, I could go on and on. Okay. So, all the things that he's doing to with the tariffs, all the destabilization of the economy. That's the thing. To me, it was just like the fact that there was people out there that hated everything Biden was doing under the whole COVID thing, but yet people forget that when COVID first came about, Trump was president, right? And he's the one that had Operation Warp Speed. He's the one that, pushed a lot of the, COVID agenda. And then Biden was just kind of, keeping that agenda. And then, again, as soon as Trump gets elected again, this time around, simply put, who does he have in his office right now? He has all the tech oligarchs. We got to go after Facebook. We got to go after, all these, tech companies, Elon Musk, whatever, right? And again, who does he have in his cabinet? Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all these tech oligarchs, the Facebooks of the world, all the YouTubes of the world, the whatevers of the world, and basically, doing the complete opposite of that. He's bringing in exactly what he said he was not going to do. So basically, and there's still people out there that are, supporting this or, for example, a lot of the people that were very against the whole COVID stuff, again, Bill Gates was public enemy number one. Who does Trump have in his office right now? Oh, he has Bill Gates in there right now. Oh, because we're going to cure cancer with the vaccine now. We're going to cure gay with the vaccine. I don't know, whatever the fuck they're going to cure these days, all right? So, to me, it's like, I don't understand, the stupidity of people these days. I look at this point, I got to play it again. I played this in the last video. Sorry, I played this in the last live stream that I did, but I got to play it for you guys again real quick. So here, let me just play this, all right?
How hard it is to be around stupid people, to hear the conversation and dialogue of stupid people, how they rationalize information in the dumbest way, how they draw conclusions and then go find other dumb people to agree with them. You can't tell me that don't piss you off. My therapist, Erica Little, she's in Fort Worth, Texas, if you want to look her up, told me that highly intelligent people suffer from a mild form of depression because they daily have to quantify the stupidity of others. This woman of God don't even know how heavy that statement was. Do you know how mentally exhausting it is to be around stupid people? And then you got to interact with them at work. I would love for you to give your testimony about how you had to deal with a dumb individual.
But yeah, and that's kind of like where we're at right now. So, it's funny because, right now, why did I choose, the title for today's video, what it is and the thumbnail and things like that? Well, because, look, guys, sorry to break it to you, things are not going to get any better. I think a lot of you guys are fully aware of that by now. But for those of you guys that are still not aware of it, things are not going to get any better. They are going to get really bad really quickly. It's already happening, but it's going to happen even more and more and more and more and more. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. It's going to get worse before it gets any better. And so, hold on a second. And so, that's kind of like where we're at right now. Sorry, I'm getting like 100 messages. Just want to make sure. Okay, sorry. Anyways. So, that's the thing. That's kind of like where we're at right now. It's kind of crazy that we are, what are we in right now? We are literally in the beginnings. We're not even there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, you see, look, hold on. I gotta get the thing so I can show it to you guys. So it'll be a lot easier for me to talk about this. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put Senor Trump on hold for a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, that'll make it easier. Okay, so right now, we are in we're in the weak men portion of the show. A lot of you guys out there, a lot of people think, Oh, we're in hard times. Oh, the hard times. All this has been hard times. And, Trump or whoever, or soon, we're coming out of these hard times and we're going to have strong men. And, before you know it, good times again. No, listen, guys. Sorry to break it to you. We are, okay, you right there, right, hold on, right there. Okay, we're there. We're leaving the good times. Okay, and we're going straight into weak men. We're probably in the weak men already. I would say we're in the weak men. I don't think we're in good times anymore. Good times, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we still had good times. All right. But as of, I will say 15 years ago, we've already entered the weak men portion of the show. All right. And we're still there. We're like still in the beginnings of that. We still got a while, okay, of weak men running the show before we go into hard times. I know a lot of people are saying it's like, oh, these weak men, these weak men that we have now, these are the boomers and they've been around. Yeah, so and the weak men and that portion of the show that already happened. No. Listen, those boomers, okay, that grew up and were around during the good times, the super duper good times. 1950s, 1960s, 70s, whatever. These boomers are still around. Trump is a boomer. There's all the money. How many people in politics and how many people in power are boomers? So these weak men are still in power. On top of that, how many weak men do we have in society? Meaning, how many men these days can change a tire? How many men these days are men? Again, what is a woman, right? What is a man? So exactly, right now, most men don't even know they're men. All right. Don't even know how to act like a man, thinking like, oh, yeah, I got to go to the gym or I'm going to be an alpha, whatever male. I listen to, I don't know, not Joe Rogan. What's the other guy's name? Damn it, I forgot the guy's name. Anyways, whatever, all these, quote unquote alpha males or whatever. And so, long story short, like all men don't even know, what it takes to be a strong man. They have no idea. It takes really hard times and sacrifice and all this other stuff for you, for us to have strong men. Who were the strong men in American society? Oh, those are the ones that fought during World War II. So how far removed are we from those people? We're very far removed. So that's why, we are in the weak men portion of the thing. Why are we, in the weak men portion of the graph there? Well, simply put, because not only did these weak men and women, the boomers, set us up for failure, all right? But on top of that, we have, they had weak children, and some of those children even had weaker grandchildren. You see them all around you. We're starting to finally see the wake up, of the younger kids. I don't even know what generation they would be, but I would say kids that are in their, teenage years, early 20s. Those are the ones that are starting to finally figure it out that, not only are times going to be extremely difficult, but the fact that they don't want to do anything. They don't want to, follow in the footsteps of their parents and of the things that are going on. So they're rejecting all of that. All right. So they are embracing the hard times. They know that shit, they grew up in hard times. And so these hard times, they know that they're just going to get harder and more difficult and worse. All right. So we are in that portion where we are still in the green weak men portion, like you're seeing on the graph there, but we have yet to go really into hard times. So we're on the border. We're about to hit hard times. We're not at hard times yet. A lot of you guys think that hard times are here. No. Hard times means, everyone's living on the street. There is no jobs. There is no food. You're probably, at war. Things like that. We're not there yet. We're not anywhere even remotely close to that yet. All right. Lucy Q says all the strong men left the country like us. Yeah, exactly. A lot of the strong men have already left the country, because the whole thing of strong men, or whatever, it's not just like, oh, I'm strong, I'm physically strong. No, it's mentally strong, mentally capable, intelligent, wisdomous, whatever. And a lot of the older people these days, I mean, Look, honestly, I think right now with the whole Epstein thing, I think that's really what made everyone blow a gasket. Because we're seeing so many people, like you're seeing, so many Trump supporters, MAGA supporters that are turning on Trump, like, Tucker Carlson, right? Or so many, other right, conservative people that have been, on the Trump train for a long time. They're turning on him. A lot of people are turning on him. They're turning on everything that's going on right now, rejecting things. Things are in shambles. And so whenever you hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm MAGA this right now," you're like, "Bro, you're fucking retarded." And if anyone says Orange Man bad, I'm, whatever, you're also fucking retarded. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on right now? You know what I mean? Why can't people think for themselves? Well, we know why they can't think for themselves. Because again, the prior generations, okay, they made sure that we were set up for disaster. They made sure that we were, put into these indoctrination camps so that we would behave, so that we would, act a certain way, keep the status quo. Long story short, make sure that they kept their high quality of life, all right, while you suffered. The boomers were the first generation ever, okay, to like not leave a legacy for their children. All the generations up until then, by the way, I'm just talking about America for now, okay? This is none of these things that are happening right now in today's world are new. They've been happening forever. That's why there's a cycle. That's why we, know exactly what to expect and how this goes, okay? And hold on a second. So and so, the reality is that that's where we're at right now. We are, living through these times in which, we have been set up for disaster. And so back in the day, back in grandpa's day, basically, great grandpa's day at this point, basically it was their job as a man to just do whatever it takes in order to leave something for the next generation. Whatever it was, knowledge, a house, property, a business. Again, knowledge. Sometimes that's all it needed. Okay, that's all you really need. But again, the boomers going forward, they were the opposite. They were, no, I'm not going to leave anything for anyone. I've done research on this, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the boomers were the first generation to really start getting bombarded with propaganda to the point where, hey, we're all gonna, nuclear war, was it nuclear, nuclear fallout, nuclear, Holocaust, all these things that, basically most boomers already grew up with the fact that like, hey man, we might die tomorrow, they might drop a nuclear bomb on our head, whatever, right? But again, this has been going on since the 50s, 60s, right? And how many years has it been now? It's like 50, 60, 70 years. And yet, these boomers are still waiting for the nuke to come. They're still waiting for the world to end. In fact, that's why you see a lot of boomers that all of a sudden they turn Zionist. A lot of boomers that were originally hippies, now all of a sudden they're hardcore conservatives, all right? And they're Zionist. And they're all about, yeah, please bring on the end of the world, bring on the apocalypse so we can finally just fucking die already, and our wish finally came true. And they don't even think about all the other generations that are here and the ones that are still yet to be born. They don't care about that. I mean, just seeing the glee and seeing the horrors of what's happening with Israel and Palestine over there and seeing how many people support that, are clapping for that, pushing for that. And it's like, your grandparents, your parents, again, the parents of these boomers are rolling around in their grave. The parents, the people that fought during World War II, right, and fought Hitler and fought the genocides and fought all this stuff, and now, look at what's going on. It's like way worse. And it is just horrible. Lucy Q says, it's my generation, millennials, who ruined it all. Sorry for, no. It's not millennials, man. Look, the boomers were the biggest, there's a reason why they call them baby boomers, a baby boom. It wasn't just happening in the USA, it was happening around the world. Millennials are the other baby boom. Okay, the other baby boom. Okay, the reality is that a lot of it had to do with it was a mix of all the generations. So baby boomers are the ones that set the stage. Generation X, us, were basically saying, fuck all this shit. You know what I mean? Because again, Generation X. I mean, my parents weren't even home all the time. They were working 13 jobs. So we were latchkey kids. We had to take care of ourselves. In my case, I had to take care of my parents and take care of the family and things like that at a very young age. So, that was Generation X. And then Generation X had kids. I didn't have kids, but my sister had kids and we grew up, same. So, my sister had kids, all the, Gen X, or early millennials had kids. And we grew up pretty shitty because of our boomer parents or boomer grandparents. And so long story short, when they had the kids, which were the millennials and the other generation after that, well, you already know, they were coddled to death. We grew up, on the streets, drinking water from the hose, leaving the house for like 12, 14 hours at a time, all that stuff. And now, I see how kids are raised up until now. I know things are changing, but how were kids raised in the last like 20 years, 25 years? All right. And, they were raised coddled, like meaning you got to have a helmet and on knee pads and elbow pads and everything just to go get a drink of water at the water fountain. In fact, they don't even have water fountains anymore, I'm sure. You can't even leave the house. You can't even ride your bike. You can't, whatever. They raised a generation of scared individuals that cannot question authority or anything like that. So the weak men and women from the boomer era, basically, they were the ones that, like set the stage and kind of like, created this whole scenario. And so now we're at the end. Okay. We're getting close to the end or the end. We're at the end of the good times. But the thing is, that's what I'm saying. We're in the weak men area because the boomers are still having good times. There's people out there that are still having great times. Okay. The boomers, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of the boomers that are not doing well right now, they fucked up, man. They fucked up, okay? Because they should be doing very well, all right? That's another story, all right? Look, but the point is that, we're in that weak men portion of the game right now. And so, that's why right now with everything going on, it doesn't matter what the hell's going on, whether it's the Epstein stuff, whether it's the wars, again, literally, when they dropped the Epstein news the other day, they asked Trump about it, and he's like, hey, we're still talking about Epstein, we're still whatever. Anyways, we're gonna send more money to Ukraine. Now, I mean, that was like all in the same sentence. And so that's why we are in the weak men portion, because look at everything that's going on, and everyone feels helpless. Nobody can do anything. Nobody is gonna do anything. Okay? Because they don't want to stir the pot, upset the status quo. They don't want to shake the fucking beehive or whatever. Even me saying what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing, I'm already a target. But at this point, I don't feel that threatened because there's so many people like me, saying more things. I have a stupid YouTube channel. I talk about these things once a week. I got, there's people out there that make multiple videos talking about these things daily. So, we're already past that. But the point is that, I guess I or others that want to talk about these things are not as scared per se of the, the consequences. We are the few strong men that are left these days. Okay. But we're in, and again, I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to start a revolution. I'm not going to fight the whatever. I'm not doing anything. And what did I do? I moved to another country. I married my wife and I'm just here, happy. You know what I mean? I make these videos, more like a cathartic thing, more because, again, community, hey, we're talking about these things. Someone has to, we gotta vent at the very least. Okay. Let's see. Joker's Wild says strong men struggle every day. That's 100% correct. Being strong isn't of value unless it's the benefit of others. But that's always been the case. The thing is that, well, anyways, let me finish what you're saying. For the most part, strength is taken for granted. Strong men get used and are underappreciated. Yes, and so the reality is why that's why so many strong men have disconnected from society. So many strong men, have even left society. I mean, I did. Lose CQ did. So many of us did. Okay. And, right now I'm just watching the movie. I'm just watching the show because, I talk to friends right now and, that are supporters of Trump, for example, and they don't even want to talk about anything. They don't want to talk about nothing. You know what I mean? I'll tell. I just asked one of my friends, "Hey, so you hear about the Epstein stuff?" And he just basically goes, "Oh, you know what? BRICS. Trump is going after BRICS." And I'm like, bro, what the fuck does that have to do with what I just said? And what do you, I mean, really, BRICS? Are we talking about that right now? I mean, again, BRICS. Let's talk about BRICS for a second. If you don't know what it is, Google it. All right, I'm not going to be here explaining everything. So, BRICS. Right now, they just had a meeting about, I think, a month ago or a few weeks ago. They literally had a meeting, okay, to discuss whatever bullshit they're going to discuss. Anyways, Putin wasn't there and Xi Jinping wasn't there, meaning Russia and China were not there. So what the fuck is BRICS, man? You know what I mean? Like, really? You know what I mean? Like, again, what is BRICS? We got India, we got China, we got Russia, we got, I don't know, Brazil. Anyways, all these economies are in shambles. None of them get along. India and China hate each other. China and Russia only are on the same team because they hate the USA or they're fighting the USA per se. I mean, all of these countries want their currency to be number one. They're not trying to share a basket, with other freaking currencies. For that, they'll just use the dollar, which is what they're doing. Okay? So, I mean, look, guys, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people just don't, they don't even look into anything at all. But look, anyways, what I was saying is that, at this point, most people are just weak men. Why? Because they don't want to confront the reality of the situation. They don't want to confront reality of what we're dealing with and what's going on. Because it's too scary to even realize or, to even, to admit to yourself that, oh, wait a minute. If I want to change, I got to change my life. I got to change myself. Or I got to create the systematic change or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so most people are like, well, yeah, I'm not going to be fighting the U.S. government. I'm not trying to, gather the troops to do X, Y, Z. Incels, men and women, they're at in the USA or whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to find a wife. All women suck. All men suck. I'm never going to be able to this. I'm never going to be able. No, listen, you can do that. All you got to do is move to another country. I don't know. Maybe perhaps, stop eating so many fucking Twinkies. Maybe perhaps, just, there's things that you can do, in order to get what you want. But most people, they're taught that they cannot get what they want. And if they get if they go after what they want, then they are, how do I say this? They are to blame. They are selfish. They're, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, wait a minute. The people in power right now are beyond selfish. The people in power right now are doing all these horrible things for their own personal gain and basically pillaging and destroying your life, your society, your everything. And yet it's okay when they do it, but when you decide, hey, I don't want to participate anymore. I want something better for my life. Now you're the enemy. Now you're the bad guy. And then, I understand it's like, well, we got to fight the system, but no one can agree on what to fight for or fight of. You talk to some people about the Federal Reserve. And some people will literally tell you to your face, yeah, that's the government and the government, and the Fed and Trump is fighting with the Fed and Trump is going to control this. And Trump is like, bro, are you guys really that retarded? Do you guys at this point, do you guys not know? Or are you just willingly acting stupid, not know that the Federal Reserve is a private entity, a private company? Am I cutting out? Yeah, by the way, I'm cutting in and out. For obvious reasons, probably because I'm talking about things I shouldn't be talking about. So my apologies if I'm cutting in and out. We got to make sure. I gotta keep it certain. I gotta self-censor myself so that they don't censor for me. Okay. So I apologize for that. 1 second.
I will be
Viva Mexico. That's right.
greatest jobs president that God ever created.
Hopefully it fixed. So let me get some more water real quick. Hopefully it'll fix. 1 second.
You have smart people, but we have people that are stupid. The American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger
Sorry about that.
And we
By the way, I love Mexico. Okay, this channel is not about Mexico. Okay, this channel is to talk about all kinds of things. When I play things like that, it's for comedy. All right, hold on. I think I'm cutting in and out again. Hold on a second. I'm gonna wait for that to come back. Anyways, okay, so when I play things like this, it's because I'm making fun of everything, okay? And by the way, not all Mexicans hate Trump. Some Mexicans hate Trump. Some Mexicans love Trump, believe it or not. So, I mean, as crazy as that sounds, you know what I mean? So it depends on what part of Mexico you're in and who you're talking to. Some Mexicans, they don't even give a crap about Trump or Claudia or anybody, all right? So FYI. So, by the way, this show is more about comedy. This show is more about, talking about these things that most people don't want to talk about. If all you want to hear is things about, Mexico and, all the, nice things about Mexico and my life out here in Mexico, then go to my other channel and stuff like that. If you don't want to hear the things that I have to say, the real things that I have to say, deal with reality, deal with some of these things, or even laugh at some of the absurdity of things that are going on, then please do not watch this channel. Please unsubscribe and get out of here and go to another channel that will agree with what you have to say. But that's what this channel is about. Again, it's called Jose Unleashed for a reason. All right. So, can I? Memo says, can I still go to Cuba? Yeah, of course I can go to Cuba. Why? Cuba. I got no problems with Cuba. I was not born in Cuba. I was born in the USA. Born in the USA. I'm American. I'm 100% American. We talked about that last week. Okay. So, anyways, so yeah, no, at the end of the day, yeah, Patriot Act is on to me. Yeah, I know for sure. Yeah, I don't know why it's cutting in and out. It's very weird. I don't know. It's the weather's great. Everything's fine. Everything else is going great, but I can see the stream. I can see the stream. I got my stats over here is not doing well, even though my internet is working fine and everything is working fine, but I'm getting throttled by someone or something out there that does not like what I have to say today. So my apologies. Anyway, so funny how this channel only cuts out for me. Yeah, the thing is, it's like it only cuts out when you're saying certain things, when you're talking about certain subjects. So if it's cutting in and out, let me know immediately, okay? Because that's really, or, you should also know that once it's cutting in and out a lot, that what I'm saying is something they don't want you to hear. Or I hit the nail on the head with something, all right? You're an American in my country. You respect Mexico. You're out. Yeah, look, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of you, man, because I feel like you're just another troll or whatever. I got nothing to say to you. All right. I literally been living here for over 7 years. I'm married to a Mexican. I got a Mexican flag behind me. I love fucking Mexico. All right. So get the fuck out of here with your shit. All right. Fuck you. All right. By the way, on this channel, again, I'm no G rating. This is R rating. Okay. R rating, borderline X. All right. So, anyways, okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the audio per se. We're having some issues, with that. The internet is getting better because I'm using Starlink. Okay, by the way, Starlink is great, but I'm starting to think, I wonder if I'm getting a double filter because Starlink, you know what I mean, so they know what I'm saying. Yeah, rated M for mature, So, yeah, if you cannot handle this channel, obviously you're not mature. You should just stick to your Mickey Mouse games or whatever it is you watch over there, Oh, yeah, Big Brother's always listening. Always listening. Shout out to Big Brother. Shout out to the CIA. Love the CIA. Love, Mossad. Love FBI, right? So shout out to all our government agencies out there.
We will make America great again.
That's right. Shout out to the Space Force. Hey, who's gonna join the Space Force? Anyone out there joining the Space Force?
We will make America great again. And we will make.
Yeah, why would anyone vandalize my Starlink antenna? First of all, it's like a little box like this. It's like on the roof. It's like a tile. You barely even see it. So, the only one that could vandalize, my my internet connection. You know what? Maybe a bird took a poop on the satellite, and maybe that's what's going on. You know, maybe someone, you know, some fucking bird took a giant shit on my satellite, and I gotta go clean it. So, you know, that's probably what happened. But anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, you know, that's a thing. I mean, at this point, I feel like, you know, more and more people are realizing, you know, what's really kind of going on with all this stuff. And like, it's like, you know, people cannot, you know, people are not going to be handling, you know, any more of this ridiculousness anymore. Man, I wonder what's going on with the internet. I really wonder what's going on with the internet, man. Damn, this is terrible. Because I mean, right now, I'm looking at my things over here on my. The only thing that's having trouble is the live stream. Everything else is kicking on all cylinders. This is incredible. This is incredible. I guess the censorship gods don't like what I'm talking about today. My apologies. Sheesh. Ay, ay, ay. I'm getting a little too close to the sun here. I gotta get up and do some jumping jacks. All right, maybe that'll work. All right, hold on. No, anyone? No. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Whatever, man. You know, it's fine. Who cares? But I mean, can you guys hear me? Can you? I just want you guys to hear me. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm waiting to continue my conversation until you guys can hear me without any interruption. Let me know if you guys can hear me without any kind of interruption to the voice. You know, the voice is coming out of my heads. You know, let me know, and then I can continue with what I'm saying. Otherwise, okay, you can hear. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, on my end over here, I wish I could show you. It's just I can't because it's like my control panel for the live stream. It's like red. You know, like it's only a few kilobytes. It should be like around 3,000 kilobytes, you know, per second or something like that. And it was like 100 kilobytes a second. Okay, so something's going on. Yet, you know, other things that I'm doing, you know, to make sure that the internet's working fine there's fine. So yeah, something's definitely getting throttled. You know, maybe because I'm talking about the fact that so many Americans and so many people are getting throttled and they, you know, up the ass, you know, with no Vaseline. And so basically like, oh yeah, you know what? We're going to throttle you now. I don't know. I'm just, okay, good. You hear everything maybe too much. All right. No audio issues, video stutter sometimes. Okay. Forget about the video. Who cares about the video? We're just trying to get the audio. That's the only important thing for me. So where was I? Where did I leave off? I don't even know what the hell I left off at, or what was my next talking point here. Let me see. But yeah, 100%, you know, we got some interferences. Okay, so. Oh, look at that. Look, I'm guessing it's somebody that has, look at Mexico, my country. I don't know how many accounts this guy has. You disrespect Mexico again, you're going back to Cuba. I have never disrespected Mexico, so why don't you go back to Cuba? All right, see you later. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know, we're living in times where, you know, we're just filled with a bunch of retards all over the place. I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? And it's funny because, you know, the Mexico, my country guy, or Mexico, I mean, 100% that's probably like an American, you know, like, you know, or some Canadian or some, you know, I don't even want to get into it. It's just, oh my God. We are surrounded by morons, all right? You remember Spaceballs? I'm surrounded by assholes. Yeah, I know. The guy came back with like another account. I mean, come on, man. You already know that, look, as a professional troll, I mean, some of you guys out there are professional trolls as well. You know how it works. If you got more than one account, all right? If you got multiple accounts, come on now. Come on. You know what I mean? You know, I can already picture the guy. You know, he's one of those dudes living in mom's basement, you know. But instead of in the USA, he's probably like, hey, mom, can you get me some more chilaquiles? And can you get me a 3-liter of Coke? Mom. You know, I can already see him. He's in his basement. I'm busy right now. I'm in a fight for the death with some Cuban guy. You know, whatever. Oh, that's right. It's a Sri Lankan guy cosplaying as a Mexican. Probably. You know? Or hold on a second. Let me play. I love this song. I'm not a. I hate Trump. I hate them all. I am not a fan of any of the government. But I love this song. This is a great song. This is a great song, and it's just so ridiculous, especially now with everything going on. I gotta remake the song and just say "Make Israel Great Again." You know, great again. You know, make Israel great again. I mean, how insane is that? You know what? Let's talk about that. I guess that's, you know, maybe that's who's throttling me, right? You know, Tel Aviv or whatever. Anyways, listen. I mean, how insane is that right now? You know, this guy ran on the whole platform of, you know, we're going to make America great again. You know, we're going to bring everybody home. You know, we're not going to spend any money on any foreign anything, you know, blah, blah, blah. What does he do? He's bombing, you know, half of the world. You know, basically, you know, he's sucking on, you know, BB's penis. All right. I mean, give me a break, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know, make Israel great again. I mean, as soon as the Epstein thing, as soon as they came out with the Epstein stuff on Monday, you know, saying that, oh, Epstein's not, you know, he was just a poor guy that got suicide, you know, whatever, you know. Anyways, as soon as they kind of brought that up, Netanyahu went to the White House. By the way, for the third time this year. Jesus, you know, that guy, we might as well give him a room in the White House. But anyways, Netanyahu gave, you know, wanted to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, I mean, what? The what?
Bruh.
Could you imagine if Trump wins the Nobel Peace Prize, you know, for, you know, literally allowing Israel to do what they're doing, you know, continuing the Ukrainian war, all the horrible things that they're continuing to do, because you remember all these things that he was going to stop and not do anymore, you know, bombing Iran, deporting all those immigrants. I mean, definitely, Peace Prize material, 100%. So, I mean, Obama got the prize, right? Didn't Obama? I'm pretty sure Obama, after like bombing, you know, Yemen into the Stone Age, or bombing, I don't know what the hell he was doing out there, you know, into the Stone Age, they gave him the Peace Prize. You know, but I mean, it goes to show you, you know, how fake all that shit is. You know, at this point, you know, why, how are people so dumb to still believe in this shit? You know, the fact that they think that all these people, you know, are not, that they're not on the same team. Of course, they're on the same team. I'll go as far as, you know, all the presidents, everyone around the world is working together. You know, they might make it seem like they're not. Like they're enemies and they're fighting whatever, but they're not. Everybody's on the same team. Everybody, you know, they're all there. I mean, you know, one of the things that kind of struck me, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was right before Trump won the election. I don't know who it was. I think it was Jimmy Carter that died. Or somebody died. I think it was Jimmy Carter. And at the funeral, you know, again, this was right before the elections, right? And you know, basically, you know, Obama, you know, going after Trump, you know, hard, you know, Kamala Harris, you know, all these people, right? The left, right? The Clintons, whatever, going hard, right? And then as soon as they're at the funeral, I mean, they're all buddies. They're all friends. They're all happy and friendly and happy and together. And it's like, no, man, they don't hate each other. I mean, and anyone that cannot even see that right there when it's right in your face, you know what I mean? Like, you know how they... on you know, they'll tell you how much they hate each other, but then their actions say something completely different. I don't even know what to say. You know, to me, that funeral, you know, I was, you know, trying to, you know, I'm sorry, rub it in the face of all the Trump supporters and all the Biden supporters. I'm like, I don't understand. I thought they all hated each other. I thought that they were all bad. I thought Orange Man bad, or I thought, you know, a crazy lefty, or I thought, you know, Hillary. We got to get rid of Hillary, right? You know, and it's like, and they're all, you know, happy, joy, da 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 dee dee. It's like, what are we doing here, man? I mean, you know, when Trump and Obama were like buddy, and like, oh yeah, what's up? You know, it's like, bro, wasn't Obama just fucking talking all this mad shit about this guy? The fuck, man? You know, so, and I mean, it goes to show you, you know, as soon as Trump got elected, this time he was not playing that game per se anymore. He was basically, you know, now how about this? He's not playing the game of appeasing the masses and appeasing his people. No, he's just straight up went into, that's it. You know, I'm a Zionist puppet. You know, I work for Israel. I work for the lizard people. I work for whatever the fuck. And that's it. That's it. You know, we're here to push the agenda that has been, you know, kind of being pushed for a long time. You know, same old, same old. By the way, I think every time I say, Israel, it seems like that's when I have a drop in kilobytes per second. That's when it starts going red. So maybe I shouldn't just, maybe I should figure out another way. The tiny hat people, I think somebody called them the, anyways, I'm not an anti-Jew. I'm not anti-Semite. I got plenty of friends that are Jewish. And, not everybody supports everything going on right now. In fact, I got some Christian friends that support more what's going on with Israel than my Jewish friends. I got Jewish friends that are disgusted with what's going on over there. Okay? In fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but over there in Israel, they're basically on the verge of civil war. All right? So, just FYI. So, I mean, it is pretty insane to me. I mean, before the whole October 7th things happened, you know what I mean? Like, long story short, the whole country of Israel was at a, civil war. They were about to, they wanted to drag Netanyahu out of there. And, the reason that, he wanted to start another war, and the reason he wanted to continue this war, the reason he's doing these things is because if they take him out of office, then he is already on trial for human rights violations and all this other stuff. He's in big trouble. Okay? Hold on a second. I'm going to see something real quick. Oh, wow. Okay. There we go. Interesting. Wow. Hold on a second. I'm just checking on something. Wow. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm watching something completely different here. Sorry. All right. Okay. We're back to the show. Sorry. Distracted with some things here. But, yeah, man, it's just kind of like nuts, to see it all play out. But anyways, yeah, Israel was basically at civil war. There's a lot of people in Israel that were not in favor of Netanyahu, and they were trying to drag him out and get him out of there so he can, stand trial or get arrested or whatever it is. I don't know. And so then basically, that's why the whole October 7th thing happened, because again, that whole area is like a fortress. How were they allowed to, have those attacks? Well, again, it was because it was on purpose, so that they were, they wanted those attacks to happen. They wanted that massacre to happen so that, Bibi, had a, Netanyahu had a reason for them to, annihilate, the Palestinians. And then eventually, bomb Iran, bomb Syria. I mean, literally, Israel has bombed like 11 countries in like the last nine months. How fucking nuts is that, right? So, and that, allows him, having this perpetual war has allowed him to do things like martial law and all these other things to, well, you can't get me out of office now. We got to do all of this. And so even right now, I know it sounds crazy. Remember, they've done a major internet blackout in Israel and Iran. And the reality is because they don't want you to see the people in Israel fighting Israel. Yeah, that's right. The Israelites are fighting the government, their own government. It's a civil war. It's not civil war yet, but it's on the verge. And they don't want you to see what's going on in Iran, because I've seen some videos of what they're doing over there, and they're just attacking civilians. They're just the same as they're doing in Palestine and other places. So, to me, it's just like, it's super fucked up, man. Super fucked up, everything going on. But what's more fucked up is everyone complacent with it. Everyone supporting it. And the fact that, I'm out here speaking against these things, and I'm the enemy. I'm the bad guy. I'm the one that has people, turning against me or whatever it is. Like someone in the chat, basically, trolling me about how much I hate Mexico. What the fuck does that have to do with anything I'm even fucking saying right now? So, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, even the trolls, even the bots, the trolls, they've lost their fucking mind. They don't even know what to fucking say or do anymore. It's all like a clusterfuck of things. Sorry for all my bad words today. All right. By the way, why am I, extra hopped up today on this channel and the other and my Mexico channel? Well, again, I know some of you guys have been following me for a while. You guys know I've had my struggles, with smoking the herbs and all this other stuff. And so, well, I started smoking the herbs again, and yeah, the weeds. And long story short, I decided to, take a break again at the beginning of the week. So that's why I got more energy. I'm more fired up than ever, and I'm here to, I'm here to chew gum and kick ass. And I ran out of gum. All right. So what was it? Yeah, I forgot. I'm here to do two things. I'm here to kick ass and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum. All right. So your blood pressure is up. I'm fine, man. Actually, I'm Cuban, and this is my normal state. Believe it or not. All right. That's why I smoked a lot of herbs. Weed, basically to calm myself down and chill myself out. But no, this is my normal you know maybe if anything, what I need to do is I gotta drop the volume on the mic a little bit because I feel like I'm overblowing the mic. But other than that, um, anyway. So, but yeah, man. I mean, I'm telling you, man, we're living through some really really interesting times right now, to say the least. And to me, it's like I said, it's like the people that are very very complacent with everything going on, that are still like apologizing, for any of this stuff. To me, when I see like a Christian and, they're all about, everything that's going on with Israel, they're all about supporting Israel. I'm like, man, the fuck is going on, man? What is it? Like, how captured are you idiotically? How captured are you ideology, through ideology? How much are you, your brain and your thoughts captured that you can't even think for yourself and you're just there spewing whatever it is? And yeah, man, it is very very interesting, to say the least. Just seeing it all, just play out, man. I mean, we haven't seen anything yet. So like right now, like I was saying earlier, we are in the portion of the show where we're about to enter hard times, but things are not hard yet. If you are in the USA, look, I know things are hard in the USA, but you still got a roof over your head in many cases. You can still get a job. You can still get food. You can still get whatever. When the majority of the population is on the streets, don't have a home, don't got whatever, that's when we get to the hard times. Or you're at war. The majority of the population is at war. We've been there. Okay, the USA's been there, and I know things are hard for many people. But you got to remember that, a lot of the people that are on the streets these days, okay, not everybody, but a lot of the people that are on the streets these days, they in a weird way want to be there. Okay, like I said, I was only a step away from being on the streets myself. Okay, that's why it came to Mexico, because I was not going to live that life. But long story short, I mean, that's the thing, and why does what would you like, Jose? What are you saying? What do you mean some people want to be on the streets? Yeah, because for example, let's say they, lost everything and they're on the streets now, and everything they worked hard for and everything they whatever, and they got to now start all over again after losing everything, only simply by doing what they were told, by doing everything that was taught to them. I mean, in fact, I got a song I'm gonna play real quick. Not now, not real quick, but to end the show. 1 second. I'm gonna get it ready, because that's what we're gonna end the show with. All right. Because that's where it is right now, and so a lot of people, believe it or not, they they've given up on the system, because simply the system has given up on them. And the reality is like, what, I am not going to be a slave or a cog in the machine anymore. I'm not going to whatever. You know what, I would just rather live in a tent, live on the street, get high on fentanyl, get high on whatever, just do this, and I got more freedom, and I got more of the life that I want to live, than if I were to, Chapito says, are you afraid to walk into Mexico? Because who afraid to walk into Mexico? I've been living in Mexico for 7 years. Who are you talking to, Chapitos? I'm guessing that's the same account. In fact, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll, guys. Is Chapitos the same, the same troll with the same account? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. No, wait, hold on. Let's do a poll. How do we do the poll here? All right, there we go. Start a poll. Hey. All right. Let's see. Let's see what the audience say. We're all laughing, bro. We're all laughing at your dumb ass, bro. Come on, man. Thank you for the comedy. We appreciate it. I don't even think you're Mexican at all, bro. And if you're Mexican, you are one of those no sabo Mexicans. In fact, say something in Spanish. If you're Mexican, si eres mexicano, habla en español. Dime algo en español. Dime algo en mexicano. A ver si es verdad. A ver si es verdad si eres mexicano o no. Dale. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. Di algo en español ahí. Type something in Spanish. I'm sure you can figure something out, right? Oh, that's right. That's right, Memo. You're right. He's from Sri Lanka. That's why he speaks good English, because he works for a call center, I'm sure. You know, so 100%. He is a no sabo, 100%. Bruh. Ay, ¿verdad que la gente de, oh my God, bro. Oh my God. I mean, again, you gotta be laughing. You gotta be laughing through all this, you know? I know a lot of you guys are like, oh man, you know, you seem so angry. You seem so, fired up when you're doing these things. Man, I am, this is pure entertainment for me, man. You know, remember, some people get fired up and do all this shit, but they're out there, you know, fighting Orange Man bad, or fighting, leftist bad, or whatever bullshit. I'm out here, you know, doing it for the lols, as a kid like to say. You ever hear that? Oh yeah, I'm just doing it for the lols. What is a lol? LOLs. I'm doing it for the lols. I'm doing it for the laughter, the laugh out louds. That's what I do things for at this point. I mean, that's my life, man. You know, my life is, come on. You know what I mean? Like, with everything going on, like, look, when the Epstein thing happened at the beginning of the week, I was like laughing for like an hour straight. I couldn't believe it. And why was I laughing for an hour straight? It wasn't the news per se. No. It was just seeing so many people lose their fucking mind. You know, so many people trying to, you know, create some sort of, what is it, like, trying to convince themselves that this is a good thing or whatever it is. I mean, nah, my God. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. It's just, it's hilarious. Ay. Oh, what happened? Oh, Chapitos. Chapitos left. Chapitos. All I asked you was to speak some Spanish. I thought you loved Mexico. What happened? Why you disappear? Are you, I know what he's doing. He's probably saying something in English, put it into Google Translate, you know, and then copy paste in Spanish and then pasting it here. So we'll wait for him. That's right. You know, the Sri Lankan, you know, Mr. Chapito from Sri Lanka. Much Love says, that's crazy how the so-called Mexican guy is getting mad at you, and you are a Cuban, and both of you are Spanish. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm speaking Spanish, and he can't even speak any Spanish. So that to me is a hilarious part. By the way, I love these trolls. I love these people. I don't know who the hell they are, but 100%, he's definitely in Mom's basement. You know, so shout out to him. He can help you with the car insurance, but you got to go to the store and buy some gift cards first. I guess you're talking about some Sri Lankan. I don't know. Anyways, but I think that's it, man. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say about anything, because I'm already running out of steam here, and I got things to do. I will leave it with this yet again, because like I said, you know, I thought this was hilarious, and I think you guys will like it. So, but anyways, guys, all right, we'll leave it with this one last time.
How hard it is to be around stupid people, to hear the conversation and dialogue of stupid people.
I didn't block him.
Rationalize information in the dumbest way. They try to come solutions, and they find other dumb people to agree with them. You can't tell me that don't push you off. My fairness, Erica Little, she's in Fort Worth, Texas, if you want to look her up, told me that highly intelligent people suffer from a mouth because they daily have to quantify the stupidity about this. This woman of God don't even know how heavy that statement was. Do you know how mentally exhausting it is to be around stupid people, and then you got to interact with them at work? I would love for you to give your testimony about how you had to deal with a dumb individual.
Anyways, no, Bike Life says, oh, you blocked him, that's why you can't speak. No, I didn't block him. You know, I blocked the other accounts, but I didn't block that account. By the way, Bike Life, I'm 100% sure that you are also the same person. Chapitos. So shout out to you. So anyways, Bike Life, say something in Spanish. Chapitos, whatever you want to call yourself. Anyways, all right, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. You know, this. Okay, so Bike Life is not Mexican. He is a person that is with Trump derangement syndrome, Orange Man bad, the whole fucking thing. I mean, how many times have I fucking said already in this live stream, let alone on this channel, how much, Trump is just the biggest piece of shit, just like all the other fucking politicians. And yet, look at the stupid ass, moronic, retarded ass shit that they say. You know what I mean? Don't show Trump if you're living the bike. That guy is right. What guy? The same. You're the same guy. You are that guy. The fucking Sri Lankan with all the accounts, bro. Holy shit, man. But anyways. Yeah, but anyways, all right. So look, we're gonna get rid of Bike Life because today was fun, but we gotta get rid of him, and we might as well get rid of Chapitos too. That way, we got. So we're gonna end the show. He has a week to come up with 10 more accounts, to show up. So shout out to the Sri Lankan telemarketer out there. Let's see next week, what they show up with. In fact, I got to go check out my other channel. I'm sure that they've already bombarded the other channel with a bunch of crap over there too. So anyways, again, the same guy. Again, one guy, 10 accounts in mom's basement, eating a hot dog from the microwave in a hot pocket, and then mom made him, and they're out here, a keyboard warriors against me. So no, Chapito, lo que chupita mucho, right? I think Chapito's already chuping enough, right? So, yeah. No, we're not gonna miss Chapitos, bro. Don't worry. He's gonna come back 100%, and we're not gonna miss him. There's nothing we miss about, all these dumbasses. So, anyways, I think that's it, guys. I think we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. We've gone way over an hour, and we did over an hour and a half on the other show. We've been, going guns a-blazing the last few weeks. So. Lucy Q said, if only these hateful woke people were smart enough to direct their hate at the problem and trying to solve, they could actually make a world better. No, I 100% agree. I mean, this is why these are all weak men. Instead of going out there and actually doing something positive for themselves, for the community, no. What do? Oh, I'm going to go online and I'm going to, get in a fight with this guy. Man, how many accounts does this guy have? Holy shit. Holy shit, man. Jesus, man. Bro, you got more accounts than me and I do this for a living. Holy fuck. Anyways. Jesus, man. Anyways, anyone can have 13 accounts, man. Again, it's just you got to have a lot of time on your hands, and it really helps if again you live with mom in her basement, you don't have a job, not doing anything with your life. It's very, very easy to have 20 accounts and spam some random YouTube channel for fun. So, but anyway, shout out to whoever that is, Mr. Sri Lankan that cannot speak any Spanish yet. He is representing Mexico. So shout out to him, whoever that is, or her. Might be a her, since either they're left. In fact, I don't want to assume gender. Who the fuck knows what they are? Anyways, but shout out to them. And that's about it. So, all right, guys. By the way, notice all the votes for no, because come on, with the poll that I did, they literally coming back to the channel, just to vote in the poll, to skew the numbers. Anyways, yeah, what a way, man. What a way to help humanity there. Jesus. Anyways, yeah, no, I mean, to me, like I said, it's all hilarious at this point. It's beyond hilarious. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. Got to get the hell out of here. I really love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Today was a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. We got to give a big shout out to our Sri Lankan, non-binary, whatever the fuck he is. It is, for the extra fun entertainment today. Really appreciate it. By the way, look, I might as well tell you, because I don't like what is it, like messing with you guys too much. You know who the Sri Lankan guy was? It was Lambo. It was Lambo this whole time. I got you, motherfuckers. I got you. So look, guys, shout out to Lambo. He learned a few things. He finally learning how to produce the show. So I got him. Well, he got himself, 10 separate accounts, and he's been joining us today, and that's a Sri Lankan guy right there. Shout out to Lambo. Yeah, no, it's not Lambo. Don't put me in the same fucking mouth as that guy. Anyways, all right. So, Daryl says, that's funny thing about the trolls is they help you make money with their views. Exactly. With their views on the channel and the commercial they have to watch and everything that they do. Trust me. You know, man, if you don't got trolls, if you don't got people going against you, if you don't got people, basically haters, if you don't got haters, and you ain't doing shit. You ain't doing jack shit with your life. Oh my God. Here's another one. Christina. Who the fuck is Christina, bro? Say hi to Christina. Who the fuck is Christina? But anyways. Oh, your mom? Oh, that's probably your mom. Yeah, I'll say hi to your mom when I go see her later. Anyways, all right, guys. Enough of all that. Time to be out of here. Yeah, I know, right? No, actually, Lambo would be way crueler. He would be cooler, and he would be a lot more cruel. And for sure, 100% not Lambo. You don't know Lambo. You don't know Lambo like that. Lambo is fucking nuts. Anyways, but shout out to Christina out there. And everyone else out there. Anyways, guys, I love you guys to death. I appreciate you guys more than you can imagine. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone out there. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We had a lot of fun, man. Today was really, really fun. And, man, we definitely got to do it again. And we will. We're going to do it again next week. We'll be here on Thursday. And you already know, same bat time, same bat channel. And that's it. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Let's get this music playing because I think this is how I feel. A lot of us feel. Whatever. Anyways, let's do it. Let's play it. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back.
500 times?
Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects